Good evening, YouTube. This is Man Always George Page coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, this is a birthday I just caught. I was out and about today, and had a doctor's appointment, and on my way out, listened to the radio, and I heard a birthday announcement. And this person right here, I have to talk about him because you know what? He's one of my favorite all-time comedians. This guy, he just cuts me. He's a great actor, a great commentary about what's going on in the world and society. I mean, he's just one of just a legend in the game. I mean, right here we have one Mr. Christopher Julius Rock the Third, and best known as Chris Rock. Now, if you know Chris, he's just a talent. Now, Chris was born February 7th of 1964 in South Carolina, and that's my next door neighbor state. And he was born to his mother Rosalind and his father Julius. Now, when Chris was younger, his family started after he was a little bit after he was born. They left South Carolina and came up to New York, where they lived in Bedford Stuyvesant, or if you're from the area of Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy. And his mother and father were two very hardworking parents, especially he was raising eight kids, and Chris being the oldest. His mother Rosalind, she was a teacher, she was a social worker, she was in the system helping with children. And his father Julius, he's a truck driver, a newspaper delivery man. His father worked a lot. He was a busy man. Especially he had 8 mouths to feed. And Chris was the oldest out of his eight siblings. And you remember the Chris Rock show, he showed three, but originally he has eight brothers. He has actually six brothers and one sister. Now he has another brother that was his father's brother from a previous relationship, and that was before he met his mother. But Chris is the oldest among his siblings with his mother and father. And one of his brothers you might recognize is also Tony Rock. He's also a comedian, but everybody knows Chris. Everybody loves Chris. So hey, Chris. Now, when Chris was a teenager, he went to school to an all white school in Brooklyn, and then after a while, he decided to drop out. Because it was difficult, dealing with the racism at that time, and that would help him through his comedy. And during this time, he did a lot of comedy was coming up, and then around about the mid '80s, he meet Eddie Murphy. And Eddie Murphy changed his career. He put him on in a scene in the movie Beverly Hills Cop 2. But also he did another movie at that time, was the classic "I'm Gonna Get You Sucker." Yeah, that's a classic. Remember he's the guy with the who wants to buy one rib. And then around about '90, he was part of the cast of Saturday Night Live for 1993, and he was up there with guys like Adam Sandler, David Spade, Chris Farley, and also Rob Schneider. That was the group that came in that year. And he did a lot of skits like "I'm Chillin'." He played Luke Campbell a couple of times. He also was Nat X. The militant. Remember Chris Farley was his clown sidekick. Now, around that time, he got a role in one of the most popular movies around. That's New Jack City. We played Pookie. He started with a drug dealer, then he became a crackhead. We all remember, he be calling me man, he be calling me man, that crack be calling my name. And that was, some people say it was a good role. I mean, he should have got an Oscar for that, a nomination at least. But he just pretty good. He kept on working, but by '93, he was let go by Sunday Night Live. He was cut, and then he went and he started on Living Color for a short time, and then he put out his first comedy album around about in '91, and then he later came back to Stand Live in '96. Now, one of his first star movies was as you know wasn't was his first star movies. We was the movie CB4. Also in '92, he was in Boomerang with Eddie Murphy. Got to work Eddie Murphy again. And then he also did the movie Immortals, Panther, Sergeant Bilko in '96, and also Beverly Hills Ninja with his good friend Chris Farley. And also he was in Dr. Dolittle. He did a voice for one of the animals. And then by then '96, he did his first album. Uh, Bigger and Blacker. It wasn't Bigger and Blacker. It was Never Scared. I think I was Never Scared, which was just it's a classic. Never Scared was just the debate of black people versus white people. Mostly debate, mostly race between black and white. The N words versus black people. And about 2000, he got his own series, The Chris Rock Show, which was on HBO for I think from 2000 to 2003. It wasn't on for as long as it should have been, but it was a pretty good show. I saw some of it every now and then. The skit stuff were wild in that show. Now, his career kept on going for a good bit. He got more movie roles and movie deals. He was able to also by the 2000s, he was able to host the Oscar one time. And he was also in movies like Nurse Betty, you know, and he did Lethal Weapon 4. It was supposed to be the last Lethal Weapon in the series. And then he did other stuff such as he still hung up with his guys like Adam Sandler and Christopher Farley and David Spade, and he's also he was in the movie Pootie Tang, which was one of the movies he wrote and produced, and everybody remember Pootie Tang. Try to not forget about it. Also, he did the movie Almost a Joan, which was one of his another voiceover movies. Then we character of a red blood cell that was a police officer inside of a human body, you know. And then he also has done other shows like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, Bad Company what's his name, dang, who I'm talking about, Hannibal Lecter, and also he put out another movie, Never Scared. Which was his other album coming out, Never Scared, was a classic. I used to have that one. And he did some more stand up and concert specials, and he did other movies. He played Marty, the zebra from Madagascar, the first movie, and he voiced over that for a good while. And he was in the movie Why Did They Get Married with Kerry Washington. You know, it was pretty funny. We played a guy who's married. He was married to Lawrence Fishburne's a wife at the time, Gina Torres. He was playing the husband. He was thinking about debating having an affair with Kerry Washington's character. And then he, like I said, kept doing more stand up and other specials. And then he got an opportunity to work with Adam Sandler in the movie The Longest Yard, which was the remake of the Burt Reynolds classic. And then by that time, in 2005, he produced a series about his life. Everybody hates Chris. Now the changes, like I said, you remember originally he has five brothers, six brothers and a sister, but it condensed it down to him and his two sisters, and they keep and by his family. Now, if you don't know this, by '88, his father Julius died. By the time his success really blew up, but he really loved his father. He taught him how to be a hard worker. Now, then he also did the the movie Death at a Funeral, which was I think a remake of a British movie. I've seen it before on television. And he did some commercials here and there. He did a commercial for the Super Bowl with Sylvester Stallone in 2010. Was it 2020? And he's good friends with Chris Rock. Working with him. They chill out. And he also did the movie All Grown Up, and there's also Grown Up 2, when he works again with Rob Schneider, Adam Sandler, and also David Spade. And he got to host Saturday Night Live quite a few times. He hosted in '96, and he hosted in 2015. And also, he came back and hosted in 2020. And he also hosted the Grammys. I mean, not the Grammys, the Oscars twice. The first time was around about 2005, and he got to host it again in 2015. And then he was also in the series Empire. He was a cellmate of Julius's character. And then he did the Lil Nas X video, Old Town Road, and also did in 2019, did the Netflix movie Dolomite. We start again with Eddie Murphy. Him and Eddie Murphy have been good friends for a long time. And he's also in a series which is called Fargo. It was Fargo was the movie. There's also a series spinoff of it. It's on FX. And he had issues. Had some health scare where he had caught the virus in 2020, and he came on, I guess, and he announced that a while back. And here's him with Megan Thee Stallion, who he hosted in 2020. And he was also on an episode of Saturday Night Live when that year when Dave Chappelle was hosting. That was the year when you know who won in 2016. Oh my God, that was crazy. Him and Dave Chappelle is crazy. And he did the spin-off of the series Saw, which is called Spiral, and that was around about in 2021. And you know he was married before to his wife, uh, Camelia Compton. They were married from '96 to 2016 till they got divorced, and they had two lovely daughters. And you know he's still a good father to his daughters. And you know currently he's in a new relationship now, and I hope he's loving his new woman. But he's still a great father to his two daughters. I mean, you know, he was just. I remember he was on Oprah. He's like he said like he was waiting for his packages. You know. But Chris Rock is still doing stand up. He's doing specials. You know, he still talks about racism and stuff that's going on in the world. He's like, I think he's the new George Carlin. You know, if you want to say that, but he's just that good a guy. He reminds me like I say, his inspirations like Eddie Murphy, you know, Richard Pryor, Bill Cosby, George Carlin, a lot of these other comedians that are around. They're aspiring to become who he is now. And like I said, I'm a fan of Chris Rock, you know, and I just want to do this video for his birthday. Just recognize his hard work, his commitment, you know, the stuff he has put in this out here in the world, how much he contributed to our people, you know, and you know, he's just a legend, you know, and and I'll say like this: you got enough time, you just go on YouTube, just type in Chris Rock and watch some of his comedy stand up. It's classic. Even today, it's still funny, especially with this cancer culture going around. But anyway, I was doing the videos just to wish Mr. Rock a very happy birthday. I hope he's enjoying it with his family, his friends, and we hope to see more of him in the new year. This is me on the way George Page. Don't like, subscribe, that's right. Don't like, subscribe, don't subscribe. I'm out. Happy birthday, Chris.